where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Maris.
Hello.
It's not Maris Monday.
Well, I don't know what day it is now.
We're recording this on a Thursday.
I'm so confused and lost in time.
What? Shit.
Yeah.
Really? It's just not that confusing.
I'm in Mel's Hole.
You can't talk about supernatural stuff because this is true crime now. So anyway, Willow is willowing and doing stuff. And
She's
is very
weeping
busy.
and willowing, yeah.
She's willowing, and so Maris is going to assist me today.
Poorly.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So we're continuing our theme of the Notorious 90's Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I'm going to be covering the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh.
Yay!
Yeah, that's not great at all. Why am I here?
It's one of the biggest events in the 90's.
I remember it. I remember.
Yeah. It was the Oklahoma City bombing, which took place on April 19th, 1995, and I have a personal connection to this story. I will be sharing that at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was a crime of some sort, too. Anyway, trigger warnings for child death, terrorism, and white nationalism. And I get spicy about stuff.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City is a sprawling metropolis, so please don't let the TV fool you or other podcasts. This is not a cow town.
No, I've been there. It's got skyscrapers and stuff. Yeah.
Oklahoma City is huge. It is the nation's 22nd largest city with approximately 700,000 residents. In terms of land size, it's the third largest city in the country. It was founded in 1889 during the oil boom in Oklahoma. And I just get so annoyed when I listen to other podcasts and other TV shows who treat it like it's some banjo-playing Deliverance-style farmland with cows everywhere.
It is, yeah.
It is not.
Like I said, I've been there.
It's not. The metropolitan area isn't. If you mean like the suburbs and outside of town, yes.
Don't go to Moore. That place is
Oh, no, don't fucking
cursed.
go there. That
Cursed
place sucks.
town.
I went to jail there.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's got nearly 1 million people. They're not, like, sitting on bales of hay. It's not happening.
I saw a couple. I'm just teasing.
You have to be a serious boy.
Oh, okay.
This is serious.
I'm sorry.
I'll forgive you this once.
All right.
So it is kind of in the heart of our nation, which means it's just kind of in the middle. It's called the heartland for a reason. It still has kind of a small town vibe in certain parts of Oklahoma City, and it was a pretty conservative and Christian, and it still is. Yeah. It is not a very likely place for a terrorist attack to happen. At least that's what everyone thought prior to April 19th, 1995. I was 16 when it happened.
Yes.
And I remember it very well. I was literally in school.
So I was 12.
They wheeled the TV into the classroom.
I do remember seeing it on the CNN or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Tulsa at the time in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, you would have been scared.
I was.
Yeah.
I was very feared because
I was in Michigan.
Tulsa downtown had federal buildings as well. Everything kind of went into a weird lockdown in Oklahoma. It was strange.
Yeah.
At 9:02 a.m. at the Alfred P. Murrah building in Oklahoma City, a bomb went off. It took down the entire third of the building. At first, everyone expected that it was a foreign terrorist attack, and the news said hideous, horrible things about Middle Eastern people, like the ones that would happen on September 11th, 2001, but it wasn't. It was closer to home. The bombing remains the worst act of domestic terrorism in American history. It resulted in the deaths of 168 people, many of them children. And this 168, you should add a couple more onto that.
Right.
One was a nurse who'd rushed into the building to try and save people and was crushed by debris. She is not counted in that list, but I like to count her.
Yeah.
And then another was a police officer who pulled dead babies out of the wreckage and took his own life later.
Oh,
I think he
no.
should be counted as well.
Yeah.
Directly after the bombing, the Pentagon enacted its emergency response, and the entire nation was on a high alert, waiting for more attacks. At the time, no one knew that this was domestic terrorism, at least not in the immediate aftermath. The question on everybody's mind was who had done this and why. The question was actually answered pretty swiftly. Well, the who of it anyway, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. The why is still something that's not... It's just kind of amorphous. Like...
Was it connected to like white supremacy or something like that? Okay.
It was completely connected to white supremacy. We're going to get into that.
Like I said, I was only 12 when this happened, so like I don't... It was sort of like foggy in my mind.
Well, the issue is it's still foggy in everyone's mind. There's never been kind of a concise who exactly, because it wasn't, let's be clear, this kind of operation.
Like I know the name Timothy McVeigh, but that's all I know.
It had to be more than this one fucking dude, is what I'm saying. And Terry Nichols only participated a little bit. And it seemed like when we got to the bottom of it, it was really mostly Timothy McVeigh, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories that do hold merit about the bombing and that it was more of an organization behind this. I'm not going to get into these conspiracy theories because conspiracy theories is why this happened. Literally. I don't want to feed into them like that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with the agreed upon narrative. And if you join our Patreon, I'm going to be covering facets of this case later. Because there's a lot of things that go into it.
There's a lot of things, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's got a lot of moving parts. Got a lot of moving parts. So, like I said, the why is still just kind of... Though the investigation was really intense, I do believe it was fumbled a lot. I don't think it was done well. The motivations of the bombers are still murky to this day, but I hope this episode will shed a little bit of light on an event that changed America and had such a huge impact at the time, especially in the Midwest. And what I want you all to take from this is that this should have been seen as what I believe that it was, which is a symptom of a growing problem in this country. But we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
Terry and Timothy were both veterans and were both white nationalists. They were heavily involved in the extreme right-wing movement in the country at the time. The only difference was these Nazis hid under rocks and didn't parade around like they do today. They were convinced that the U.S. government was trying to restrict the rights of U.S. citizens, and they were radicalized by the tragedy at Ruby Ridge and Waco, Texas with the Branch Davidians. Both things I will cover on Patreon this month and next. I will be covering the Waco disaster first because I have the script half done. So if you want to hear that, you know what to do. It's a huge thing. I can't cover all of these. And so I want to be able to cover Waco outside of the theme.
Right.
Yeah. So Terry and Timothy really harped on about the Second Amendment, like good conspiracy nutcases. And this was after Columbine. And yes, that will be another case I'll cover on Patreon because...
I remember that better than I remember the Oklahoma thing.
Well, it was after.
Yeah.
I actually think it was after. Was it after or before?
I remember the Columbine thing because they called me into the office because I was a goth.
Yeah, same.
And I was 15 years old for sure at that time.
Well, I was 19, so Columbine's after. But I do
okay.
believe... But the Oklahoma City bombing was referenced by the shooters. It's just kind of this whole, like, ramping up of right-wing extremist behavior in this country. And so, like, I'll be covering that, too, because I think that was it was in April as well, I believe. We're always picking April because of Hitler's birthday.
God, it's a cursed month, and it's a nice month.
I love April.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... It's just sort of like, I believe, like, you kind of go Ruby Ridge, Waco, Oklahoma City, Columbine.
Yeah,
and I think
you're right.
And that flows right into September 11th.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And it kind of, I think all of those events shaped the way the country is right now.
Yep.
And not for the better.
And Reagan.
I don't even, well, Reagan is partially to blame
for
all
everything. It just always comes back to
Reagan.
Reagan.
We'll just blame Reagan for everything.
Yeah.
He's the new Satan.
Oh.
Yes. At 9:02 a.m. on April 19th, people were just arriving to work at the Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. Parents dropped off their kids at the daycare there called America's Kids that was provided for employees. Many of these children were just infants and toddlers. The Alfred P. Murrah Building was a federal building in Oklahoma where many government agencies had offices like the ATF and DEA. So there were approximately 550 employees in the building. It wasn't just kind of government workers in this area either, because it was in the middle of downtown where everyone's walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy McVeigh parked a rental truck filled with a fertilizer bomb on the north side of the building, the side with the daycare. When the bomb went off at 9:02, people walking past were killed immediately. The blast sheared off half the building, and it caved in right after that half. 324 nearby buildings were either destroyed or heavily damaged.
That's so many.
It was an enormous explosion.
Just think about what you said, 300?
324 were either damaged
That's so
or destroyed.
many. That's like that's a city in itself,
All of downtown was fucked up. Like, the cleanup went on for months.
Wow.
It wasn't September 11th level destruction.
That's a lot, though. 300
But
buildings.
it was a lot. And, like, the shockwave from
Like a
the
tornado.
blast was, like, over 6 city blocks. Or 16. It was 16.
That's a tornado.
It looked like a war zone.
Yeah.
I remember watching
I didn't know it
on
was that
TV.
big,
Yeah, you forget. Like, we don't talk about it anymore.
I just thought it was one building.
Oh, it just fucked everything up down there.
Mm-hmm.
It flung things for, like, miles. Like, it just... People, like, as far away as, like, the Air Force Base heard the explosion and felt it.
Wow.
It was the equivalent of, like, over 500 pounds of TNT or something ridiculous.
That is so much.
Timothy McVeigh hoped this would be the start of a great uprising of white nationalists and other don't step on me snake assholes who would crawl out from whatever rock they lived under and take up arms against the U.S. government. This did not happen because why would it? It's dumb. But it was a symptom of a growing illness in this country, the rise of white nationalism, the result of which we see today with maggots and Trump and all the right-wing pieces of absolute trash trying to take over this country. Good old Timothy McVeigh walked so they could run. And we have to fight it just as hard as we fought it back then. They have to go back under the rock now.
Right.
Shut up.
Right.
Sit down. Gross.
Quit being weird.
You're being fucking weird and hateful. Cut it out. Keep your yucky poo-poo feelings to yourself. Try and squeeze in some kind of racist bullshit at Thanksgiving
Go get
so
some
your
therapy.
family doesn't invite you again, and then go to therapy.
Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. Timothy McVeigh didn't seem like a person you would picture, at least not back then, as a terrorist. I fucking disagree.
Right.
And I'm going to explain why. He was born a fucking terrorist, but we'll get to that. He was born on April 23rd, 1968 in Lockport, New York. He had a pretty average upbringing, except his parents got divorced when he was 10, and he went to live with his dad, and I guess this made him a real big fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, it's always daddy issues, right?
We all have daddy issues. Shut up.
Once again, go to therapy.
Bite your fingernails and eat too many snack cakes like the rest of us, asshole. Tim was bullied because he was a scrawny nerd. He developed a lifelong hatred of bullies and saw the U.S. government as a bully. They was mean to him. We were all bullied. Shut up.
Right.
When Tim was a younger teen, he read the book The Turner Diaries, which was, just a bunch of racist rantings written in 1978. The book centers around a violent fictional insurrection where the government is overthrown and then a race war happens. This is literally the wet dream of the alt-right, I swear to God. The FBI call this book the Bible of the racist right. Sounds awesome!
Right.
Isn't that what we'd all like to read, or just I think it should be thrown away?
No.
In this stupid-ass book, the organization that causes the insurrection bombed the FBI headquarters during the period... Oh, sorry. They bombed the FBI headquarters in this book. So you can clearly see where you got the fucking inspiration.
Right.
During this period in young Tim's life, he became obsessed with guns. He admired his grandfather's rifle and spent hours perfecting his marksmanship like a psycho. Tim was also into survivalism, and I swear all these right-wing people get into the same shit. He was a prepper, basically, before it was cool. He was convinced the U.S. government would be overthrown or there would be nuclear war. The nuclear war thing I get. That was a legit threat back then.
I mean, it's a legit threat now.
Shh. I'm in denial.
Okay.
I don't read the news right now.
Oh, it is scary.
It gives me a tummy ache.
Yep.
Don't like it.
Nope, it's bad.
Tim was a good student and thought of as a nice and polite boy. He babysat the neighborhood kids, terrifying. They all thought he was a little weird, but overall, a fine kid. He graduated high school and went to school for computer science for 2 years. In May of 1988, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, which really fries my eggs, because, like, if you believe the government bad, right, why are you going to go be their, like, beat-up squad?
If you can't beat him, join him? Is that what he's doing?
I think he's just crazy.
Yeah.
During basic training, Tim formed a close, like, sword-fighty wiener friendship with his platoon leader, Terry Nichols. They formed a bond over their right-wing extreme views and racism, and this was the first time in Tim's life he could share his absolute shit opinions without being looked at like he was garbage, because they're garbage opinions. Imagine bonding with someone over how racist you both are.
We hate the same guys, you know?
I hate them so good for no reason.
Me too. I also hate, but I kind of love you.
I kind of love you. Do you want to touch our guns?
You. Yeah, you want to hate together?
No. Yucky.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
Tim did really well in the military, and he was promoted to sergeant. He was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, where he would go on to meet Michael Fortier, another racist. Tim served in Desert Storm in Iraq. And
they're all like holding arm in arm, the three of them, you know.
Doodly doodly doo, they're skipping around.
We're going to go hating.
I'm going to go hating. He served in Desert Storm in Iraq and was awarded a Bronze Star for valor. He would later go on to brag about 2 enemy soldiers he killed to friends and family like a lunatic. This was the first sign, to them anyway, that something wasn't quite right with Tim. I'd say the obsession with being a racist prick is also a red flag. But I digress.
Yeah.
I honestly think that if you have a child who is saying racist, stupid shit, get that child immediately to a doctor.
Yeah, get some help.
Something wrong. Deeply wrong. The psycho stuff, school shooter stuff.
Get him into My Little Pony instead.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is magical.
In 1991, Timothy attempted to join the Special Forces, but was turned down for probably being crazy. He received an honorable discharge instead, and without the structure of the military lifestyle, Tim seemed to be set adrift. He didn't quite know what to do with himself after the military. So, like a normal person, he became a drifter, following gun shows from town to town.
A weird beard?
Like a weird beard lunatic. He became more and more extreme in his views. He became even more extreme in his Second Amendment views, which is, oh my God, they're going to take my guns.
It's horny for guns. I can't with people who are horny for guns.
I understand having a shotgun for hunting and for home protection. I understand having one handgun to protect your home. You don't need nothing else. You don't need an AR-15. Against what?
Right.
Your own government?
The government drones that are smart with AI magic, you know?
Let me tell you something, sweetheart. They're going to come in there with a daisy cutter, and you and your whole family are going to be paced.
Or SWAT teams, you know? You can't fight them.
Shut up. Who? Oh, you're going to join up with Joe Bob down the... You and your guns? Take your weird gun boner. Put it away. Children are dying. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, you're going to trust the guy who doesn't wear a helmet when they're on a motorcycle and stuff, you know, like that smart guy.
Oh, I just love, like, there's, like, a house.
They all zipping up and down our road.
There's a house, like, down the street, and, like, they have, like, a don't step on me snake flag and, like, a Trump flag.
And a 4x4.
And, oh, yeah, and they're always on those things, and their dogs are always laying in the street. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, these guys have the right opinion.
The toilet's in the outside. It's on their lawn.
Well, of course it is. You know what else they have on their roof is car tires, and I don't know the purpose of that shit.
I don't understand the car tires on the roof. No.
There's a ladder. Yep. And then there's 3 tires and a garbage bag over the very tippy top.
Their little, like, shooting blind or something. I don't know.
Shut up.
It's so redneck.
It's so redneck. I hate it so
The reddest of necks.
Indeed. In 1993, Tim lived with Michael Fortier, his army buddy, in Arizona. They did some meth and built a bunker to prepare for nuclear war.
Like you do.
Like you do. Tim would get further into the rabbit hole of right-wing lunacy after the events in Ruby Ridge, Idaho in 1992. It was an 11-day siege on a man named Randy Weaver who failed to appear on a firearms charge. Basically, he was being accused of being, like, an illegal arms dealer. And he was. U.S. Marshals and FBI agents stormed his property, and an 11-day standoff resulted in the deaths of Randy's wife and his young son. Because the government's dumb. Hey, Tim McVeigh, the government does suck, but super not for the reasons you're thinking.
Yeah.
They suck because they're just evil cunts, and they're incompetent.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a real shit show on the government's part, and I'm going to cover that case on Patreon because you don't know how many extremists this event inspired. It's ridiculous.
All of them?
Yes, and we never talk about it.
Yeah.
It makes me mad. Tim saw this as a sign that the government was going to take his guns personally. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to come knocking on your door. Yep.
I need your guns, Tim.
Excuse me. Guns in there?
Stupid. In February of 1993, there was a similar but worse tragic showdown in Waco, Texas. David Koresh, a cult leader, amassed illegal guns and touched the children, and the government had a standoff with him, too, which resulted in the deaths of over 76 people. Over 20 of those were children. And most of them had burned to death.
Oh, no, that's not good.
In a fire likely caused by the deployment of tear gas by the government agents. The 51-day standoff ended on April 19th, 1993. Everyone was pissed about this, not just the extremists, and I'll be covering that too. Tim went down to Waco during the 51-day standoff. I just got to put my notes down because this makes me so gross.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm just so sick at my stomach.
What happened?
So during the standoff, like you have the ATF, government agents, there's like over 200 like law enforcement officers there. It's like a small army against the Branch Davidians, the cult.
Okay.
And they're in a compound, like a huge building.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple, like a mile or two down the road, you have Tim McVeigh with his fucking car and his smug, icky face, and he's laid out bumper stickers. He's selling bumper stickers about the Second Amendment.
Okay, guy.
I just wish he were alive so I could hit him with my car.
Yeah.
I'd like to make him a bumper sticker.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Number one, I can't really abide a bumper sticker. What do you need to be telling people shit for on your car?
To be distracting? I don't know. It's America. We can say stuff.
Unless
supposedly.
it's a Twilight bumper sticker, I'm not amused. Unless it's the pictures of all your anime waifus, I'm not amused. Do not care about your political opinion. Why do you need to tell me with your stupid, ugly car?
I just don't do bumper stickers because I don't want the attention of any police.
Listen, I don't need to put my opinions to mark me as a target for nothing.
Right.
They don't need to know I'm no blue-haired pronoun over here.
No.
I'm trying to stay alive and have my vehicle unmolested.
Although.
What?
I think any Bigfoot sticker is allowed.
That's right up there with anime waifus. We will allow it.
I'm gonna let any Bigfoot stickers stand.
Let me tell you, I was in Rogers, which is kind of the bigger town close to us. It's like 45 minutes away. And there was a car. First of all, it was pink. And it was like a Honda Accord.
Yeah.
And it had a spoiler on the back and like iridescent rims.
Yeah.
And just completely wrapped in those decals, you know?
Yeah.
Anime girls with their titties out. I loved it. I love it so much.
That's too much attention.
No, it's great because, like, you don't mess with that person. They're clearly fucking batshit.
I would be squinting my eyes as soon as they exit. I want to see who this person is.
It was a young man, probably in his early 20s, a white dude.
Yeah, of course.
With big, thick glasses and spiky hair, listening to, like, anime music soundtracks at top volume. It was awesome.
Live the dream, sir.
That car just smells like jizz and Doritos.
I don't like it. I wonder how many monsters he drinks in a day.
It's probably if you cut him, that's what he bleeds.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gross. Anyway, there we go. Tim started forming a plan to kick off the Great Insurrection to the U.S. government. He considered killing the FBI sharpshooter who had been at both Ruby Ridge and Waco. He thought about killing U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno. I mean, she's the one that ordered the Branch Davidian compound be raided.
Oh, it was Janet Reno?
It was. Everyone hated her so much.
Yeah.
And they did not like her after that either. And they made fun of her because she looked funny.
Well, she did.
She was a boxy lady.
She was like an uglier Peggy Hill.
Just really intense. She looked like she played football.
Yes, she did.
She looked like
Those
she
pearl
could...
necklace and the blue suit, right?
And she is square. She is an entire rectangle. She looked like she could turn to you, and she put the hurt on you. She could really put the hurt on you if she wanted to.
Never forget Janet Reno.
She was a very handsome woman. I don't care if I'm being mean. Isn't she dead? Fuck you, Janet Reno.
Uh-huh.
No, fuck you.
Right.
She's a piece of shit. Anyway. Yeah, but he decided blowing up a federal building would be better. Huh?
Right.
Tim told Michael Fortier and Terry Nichols about his plan to blow up a federal building, and not an empty one. He wanted to make sure a lot of government workers died, because otherwise no one would care. Michael Fortier, the coward and piece of shit, took Tim out to scout and case federal buildings. They kind of went all over, and it was December of 1994 that Tim and Michael went to Oklahoma City. They decided that the Alfred P. Murrah building would be the best target, as it would kill as many government workers as possible. And since the front was largely all glass, they wanted all that shrapnel flying around.
That is mean.
Yeah, because that glass went into those babies.
Right.
You piece of crap.
Yep.
Ooh, makes me mad. Michael and Tim Turner had been stockpiling the fertilizer they'd be using in the bomb since September of 1994, and it was ammonium nitrate. They decided on April 19th, 1995 as the day of the bombing, because it would be the 2-year anniversary of the Waco massacre. And let me be clear, I think it's a massacre too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government dropped the ball on this. I think they killed a bunch of innocent people.
Right.
Fuck you, ATF and FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck you, David Koresh also. Fuck all of y'all.
Yep.
Before the bombing, Michael Fortier refused to participate in it any further. Terry Nichols met with Tim the day before the bombing to help build the bomb itself, and this is when that cunt got cold feet and said, hey, we've gone too far.
Yes, you have.
Because Terry was just LARPing, I guess. Terry, despite being threatened by Tim was like, I will fucking kill you. Terry's like, okay. Just left. And Tim was all alone, but like most of the work had been done, like stockpiling the explosives, renting the fucking rider truck that they use, the moving truck, and like a bunch of other shit had all been done with help. It's just the other guys pussied out. Tim was alone now, but with most of the work having been done, he was determined to see it through. Tim had bought a used car, a beater, and parked it several blocks from the Murrah building, and he did this 3 days before the 19th. At around 8:53 a.m., CCTV captured the Ryder rental truck he was driving full of the bomb, pulling up on the opposite side of the Murrah building. And this is when it's believed he lit the first fuse. This part's so scary. So he then parked on the north side of the building, where he lit the second fuse at 9:01. He can be seen, like, really quickly running away. And the bomb goes off a minute later.
Yeah.
Like, that's how close he was to exploding himself. It takes a lot of hate to get you to a place where you can sit in a truck with a lit fuse.
Right.
Ugh.
Yuck.
The blast was so intense that it was first assumed 2 bombs had gone off. Witnesses reported 2 explosions, and it has never been confirmed, but it is suspected that the ATF stored explosives in the Murrah building, and the truck bomb set these off. Really gross, guys. Way to put bombs in a building that has a daycare, you fucking morons.
Could it be like just like explosive liquid or something?
No, it was literally like confiscated bombs and shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You should like deactivate them things.
You think? Or is the
yeah.
government just a bunch of fumbling ding-dongs?
Yeah, I think it's that probably.
The FBI was immediately on the scene and the investigation was underway. Meanwhile, first responders tried to rescue all the people buried in the rubble and glass. Some people had to have limbs amputated to get them out. The rescue crews had to call for long moments of silence on the scene while they used listening devices trying to hear the heartbeats of the survivors trapped in the rubble.
Yeah.
Over 12,000 people helped in the rescue operation. And a nurse, like I said, that was one of the last deaths that occurred on the scene, as rubble fell on her when she tried to go in towards the end. The rescue operation ended and became a recovery mission. It took 2 weeks to remove all the bodies. And I think they ended up not finding 3 people. They probably just kind of got, obliterated.
Yeah.
The youngest victim of the bombing was 4 months old. The oldest was 73. That's not how either one of them people should have gone out. It's fucked. The FBI got a stroke of luck, immediately. The rear axle of the truck was blown over a block away and smashed into another car, but it was intact and it had the vehicle's identification number on it. This allowed the FBI to trace the number to a Ryder rental truck place in Junction City, Kansas. They went to this rental place and talked to the owner. The name Tim used was Robert D. Kling.
Does that have any significance?
No, just a name he made up.
Okay, Mr. Kling.
Stupid alias. I'd make myself like Johnny Danger or Biggest Dickus or something.
Right.
Make it cool. Anyway, Mr. Kling, there was a police sketch done too, and it looked just like our Tommy McVie. Since Terry Nichols was with him, there was a sketch of his fish lip likeness as well. The FBI had their suspects. They went around Junction City with these sketches, and a woman who worked at the front desk at a motel recognized them, and this was the Dreamland Motel, and the man had stayed in room 25 under his real name, Tim McVeigh, because he's a dumbass. So here's how that happened. So the girl who worked the front desk was cute. She's a cute young lady.
Yeah, he was flirting.
He was talking and flirting like a ding-dong dumbass, and he gave her his fake ID. But when he signed his name for the room key, he wrote Tim McVeigh.
With a little heart, yeah.
And I love that. I love that.
It's Timmy. You can
call me Timmy. Maybe she should have just shown him her titties and it would have saved all them lives. No, girl, it's not your fault.
No.
And you can't show a Nazi your titties.
No, never.
Your titties are too good for Nazis.
Yeah.
Nazis don't deserve to look at titties, touch titties, or even think about titties. Titties are a gift and a blessing from the Lord.
Yes.
By God.
Amen.
Amen to the titties.
Yes.
No fucking titties for you.
Nope. Wait, me?
No, for Timothy McVeigh.
Okay, good.
Because he's dead.
Oh, yeah, good.
It wouldn't be hard to find him either, because he was in jail for something else entirely. Because he's stupid. He was arrested 90 minutes after the bomb went off. He got in his escape car, which he'd dumbly taken the plates off of, and went north on Interstate I-35. 75 miles north of Oklahoma City, he was stopped by a state trooper for, not having a license plate. And dumbass McVeigh, is reaching over to get his, papers and his identification and all that good shit. And the trooper notices there's a bulge under his arm. Not in his pants.
Oh, okay. That's gross and weird. I didn't want to hear about it.
Just putting that out there. I already made jokes about his little wiener and him having a little sword fight with Terry Nichols.
Ugh.
Anyway, and he was like, "What the fiddle fuck is that? Get out of the car." Well, it was a gun.
Oh.
And back then, you could not conceal and carry in Oklahoma. That was illegal. It's
now you can marry a gun. It's legal.
Can I marry a gun?
Yeah, you can. It's legal.
Can I carry it right in my cooter?
You can, yes.
That's a pocket.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hard pressed, you can use it as a pocket.
Like a little kangaroo, or...
Look, let me tell y'all the best headline in the entire history of journalism. Okay, you ready? I can't remember the exact wording. I'll put it in the description. But the gist was, author Cormac McCarthy's ex-girlfriend got into an argument with him about UFOs, and she pulled a whole gun out of her pussy.
I wanna see that show.
God damn, is that not great? This is the guy who wrote No Country for Old Men, Blood Meridian, and The Road, and shit like that.
That's a good story. Yep.
Can you imagine pissing a woman off so bad about UFOs she takes her gun pussy out?
What kind of gun would fit up there?
It was a small pistol.
Hopefully it wasn't loaded, because
it was loaded.
That is a wild woman.
Safety off. This bitch ain't fucking around.
If you sit wrong, you're dead. You're dead.
She's like, and they're like, "Have you got that thing on you?" And she's like, points at her pussy, and she's like, "I'm always packing."
I wanna read a story about a bunch of nuns that pull guns out of there, and that'd be a good story, wouldn't it?
You've really taken this in a weird direction.
Yeah.
You've if they were Warhammer 40K space nuns, I would be into that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
They could pull all kinds of shit out they pussy and fuck up the aliens and stuff.
Could there be like a magician one where it keeps pulling it out and it's a really long spear?
It it's like a whole like Scud missile. She pulls out her
oh,
pussy.
that's even better. Yeah.
Oh, girl, she's not playing.
Okay. Well, anyway, how does this Oklahoma thing go?
You're such a good co-host. Anyway, he was arrested for carrying an illegal firearm and concealing it and not having a license plate, and he was booked. 2 days after the bombing, the FBI had Tim's name, and they ran it through a record search. And, of course, they saw a man with his name arrested 75 miles away from the bombing on the same day. They were just like, oh, that's him.
Yeah, that's him, Ossifer.
Mm-hmm. They showed up and took him into FBI custody, and Timmy was like, my name is Timothy Buttface McVeigh, and I was in the military, and here's my officer number, which doesn't matter. They don't need
He's
that.
a sovereign citizen, and he has a bunker.
And then he said, I'm not saying anything else. I want a lawyer. So he got a lawyer, and it just is, the trial was 2 years long.
Wow.
Well, he had 2 trials. He had a federal trial and a state trial.
Okay.
The federal trial, he was only charged with 6 counts of murder.
What?
But in the state trial, he was charged with all 168.
Why did the big government say stupid stuff?
They didn't need to get him on the murder because they knew the state would.
Okay, well.
They focused on other shit.
Okay.
Well, he was given the death penalty for that crap, and he was put to death by lethal injection on June 11th, 2001. He used the poem Invictus as his last words, and I'm not going to read it because fuck you, Timothy McVeigh. You're an edgelord piece of shit.
That's true.
I'm not going to say your last words.
Mm-mm.
Your last words are gay as hell, homie.
Yep.
Nazis don't get to have last words.
No words.
They just take out the trash. So as for Terry Nichols, he was sentenced to life in prison for his involvement. Good, fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
He's ugly. Also,
yeah.
Michael Fortier, who had a very magnificent mullet, was sentenced to 12 years in prison. His wife was spared a sentence because of the deal that Fortier made with the federal government that granted her immunity and him a reduced sentence for him to testify against him and Terry. Once Michael was released from prison, him and his wife Lori were put into witness protection program and given new identities, so we don't know what they're doing and we don't care because they're Nazis. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just should have broadcasted faces on the TV all the time, like every day. Still should be doing it. And if you see them, kick them in the nuts.
Yeah.
Now, my personal connection to this case. Ugh, this is gross. So when I was only 17 years old, I dated a 34-year-old groomer and predator named David Harper, who worked at the Tulsa World as a reporter, the court reporter there. Fuck you, David. I was 17. Anyway, he got an exclusive interview with a woman named Carol Howe, who was an ATF informant on this case and a former, and I roll my eyes at former, white supremacist herself. Well, David and her fucked, or dated, not sure which and don't care, and this is why he was granted the interview over 60 minutes.
Wow.
Because he's a whore.
Yeah, he's a whore.
Had to fuck his way into that one.
Ew.
You didn't get it legitimately. The same thing they'd accuse a woman of, but she'd probably be innocent except you were guilty and you suck.
Yeah.
A 34-year-old man who dates a 17-year-old child and pressures her constantly to have sex with him, it's not like that far away that he would then date a Nazi.
No.
All these people have that in common.
Yeah.
They're gross child touchers. So, I can't get in trouble because it's not slander or libel if it's true. And I do have proof. So anyway, that's my personal connection. I will be covering Carol Howe because her case is so fucking fascinating.
Okay.
And it is likely she was a member of an organization that could have been behind the Oklahoma City bombing and Timothy McVeigh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to be covering that. I just don't want to put conspiracies out into the wild world.
No.
But you can come to our Patreon where I will put them there.
Yes, over there.
Because it's my content, damn it.
Yes.
I can say what I want.
You can.
You know what else I can say?
What is it?
It's business time.
Business time.
Hey, I've mentioned Patreon like 18 times. I just covered Kurt Cobain's life story and his unfortunate suicide on our Patreon. If you want to check that out, I feel like I did a pretty nice tribute to him, I think. I feel like I presented his case with sensitivity. And
I was there too, less sensitive.
You were less sensitive,
Yeah.
but Maris just is over there like a weird little bird that says stuff. It's okay.
I'm just an owl that talks into the microphone.
That's right. Hoot.
Hoot, hoot.
You can also join our Discord. I haven't been in there for the past couple weeks because I haven't been feeling good. My allergies have been wrecking my shit.
Me
and I've been
too.
working really hard.
Yeah.
But I have kind of like lessened my load over the past couple days.
Load.
And I am going to be in there more. So please come and say hello. We have lots of lovely people in there who will talk to you. And we can share recipes. I want to see your dinner. I want to see your dog or your bird or your lizard or your kitty cat, whatever you got. I want to see your arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Do you crochet? Show me.
Crochet.
I crochet too. And, we can talk true crime. We can just be silly. Give me some memes. I'm banned from Facebook forever, y'all. My meme stash is low. Help a bitch out. You can also donate to this podcast on Coffee. We appreciate it. It helps pay the bills around here because the podcast doesn't really pay the bills. So if you want to send us a little thank you, we will get McDonald's cheeseburgers. Yeah.
Or pay bills. I don't know.
Or depending on how much it is.
Yeah.
If it's $10, we will go get cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
We'll have a little date.
Yeah.
We don't get to have those very often.
No.
If all you can do though to support this podcast is listen, I appreciate it. It's for you. Don't feel bad if you can't give me money. That's weird. Don't. Stop it.
You can feel bad and give it to me.
Don't listen to him. He's evil.
He's
an evil owl that lives in my house,
Yes.
and I make him do the
Hoot,
podcast
hoot.
with me.
Yeah.
Also, what was I gonna say? I'm so stupid. It hurts. Our merch. Oh wow, we have some really great merch.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. You need one of them like coffee mugs that keeps your shit warm, and you need a hoodie. And our hoodies are gorgeous. Like they're really legitimately lovely. All the merch that I've bought has lasted this whole time without fading or peeling or anything.
Yeah.
And like the shirts and stuff and hoodies and long sleeve shirts and sweatshirts are really nice quality, or I wouldn't.
I haven't broken our mug.
And you've tried.
Yeah.
You've slung it around.
I'm not gentle.
No. Evil. So yeah, merch, good. Get yourself some. That helps support this podcast. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and leave a comment. And if it's mean, I don't care.
Keep it to yourself.
Shove it up your butt.
Put it in your butt.
But like I don't know if you guys were aware of this. So I'm just going to inform everyone. And this is very serious. It is actually illegal to be mean to me.
Yeah, that's true. You're a hamster.
I am a hamster on the inside. I'm very small.
A spirit.
My eyes are very big and they are wiggly and full of tears.
That's true.
And if you're mean to me, the police will come and take you to jail because it is literally against the law.
It's not against the law to be mean to me, but you shouldn't, and I'll bite you.
Why would you be mean to Maris? He's just an owl.
I'm an owl that lives in the podcast.
And look how nice he is. I'm a hamster. He hasn't eaten me.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, he could.
That's our animals.
Look, we're completely out of our gourd. We've been having a hard time. My mental health has been, I can't even say it's been bad. It's just been so strange. I'm not well. I feel nuts.
Feel crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to menopause a little bit because I'm getting hot
Now you've
flashes.
told all the podcast your business.
I've told them about like my butthole. I can tell them about my change of life.
Wow, change of life.
Go fuck yourself. Okay, so I want to know if there's any other 45-year-old ladies listening to me who have gotten hot flashes. Did you finally get a break from your stupid fucking period soon after that? Because I am so hot.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm sweaty. I cannot sleep. I have to aim a fan on me. It's like 40 degrees at night here right now. And I have to have a fan and the AC on, blowing on me like an Arctic wind. And Maris is nearly frozen to death.
I'm wrapped in many blankets.
He wears okay, you guys, I have to tell you this quick story before I go. Okay. Maris is very special. So he has a very special sleepy time routine because he's real big weird. Just a weird person. Okay, so bedtime has steps. So he goes and he brushes his cute little teeth and everything, and he gets in the bed. God. So first he has a weighted blanket.
Yeah, I do. I have a weighted blanket.
And then a brown blanket.
A very big brown quilt. It's very ugly.
It is. His feet are out.
I
Please know
can't
this.
have anything on my feet. Not a sock, not a blanket, nothing.
No, his feet are
not
free.
Not a sheet.
He is completely flat on his back like you would sleep in a coffin.
I do sleep like a mummy.
He's got a couple pillows under his head. Then he puts on a big puffy eye mask thing that looks futuristic and stupid.
It's got to be... I can't have any light. Not
And
one
then
light.
he puts one pillow over his eyes. He pulls the blankets up right under his bottom lip, so all you see is his
I am
mouth.
a cocoon, yeah.
I don't know what he'll do with the fire, and we have to escape quickly because
die.
he's in 20 layers. And sometimes that includes around his shoulders a little gray blanket like he's wearing right now. And it's not cold in here currently. I am sweating.
I don't have a metabolism. I get cold very easily. I'm like just slow moving on the inside.
Like a ground sloth.
Yes. Yeah, that's how I am. Yep. Very slow.
Slow
and
ponderous, and cold and
Yeah.
ill-tempered, would you say?
Oh,
Maladjusted?
absolutely.
Maladjusted.
Oh, very.
Yeah. That's what I see every night.
I am cocooned. Yeah.
This is how I go to bed because I also sleep weird. Look, I'll call myself out too.
Yeah.
I
You're
get-
upright. You sleep
hold on.
upright.
I get what's the name of it where your legs are jimmying? You got jimmy
Restless
legs.
leg
I have
syndrome.
restless leg syndrome like a loon, and I've got too much energy. And so what I have to do is I take a melatonin, a sleeping pill from the drugstore, and a Benadryl, and an edible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coherent. It's like, when you take cows to the slaughterhouse and they have that special hammer that just goes pew right into their brain or like a shotgun or whatever. That's what it does to me.
Well, you have the epilepsy, so you can't sleep.
I can't sleep because of that. So because my body's jerking around and being an idiot, I have to just sleep sitting up.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrap myself in a blanket and I pile pillows up to under my chin and then I lay on my pillows like a weirdo.
None of this is normal. We should...
we need so much medical and psychological help. Okay, but if you guys are also weird sleepers, you can tell us on Buzzsprout now. You can tell us on Spotify, and you can come on our Discord. Leave me things to read. Huh?
Yeah.
Unless they're mean. I've just stated it's illegal to be mean to me.
I'll bite if you're mean to me.
He will. I will also bite and maybe cry. Do you want me to cry? So mean. Okay, anyway, like I said, if all you can do is support this podcast, listen, thank you. I love you. Join the Patreon if you can, because it's going to be a good couple months. I have many good cases already researched, noted, and everything. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got. You got anything? Hey, Maris, tell them about your other podcast, then we'll go.
Well, I am the host of Reality. To host me, Maris. I messed that up.
Yeah.
And it's a podcast starring mostly me, some you over there.
Some me over here.
And I talk about reality shows that I watch,
Yes.
and I write what I think about it.
Right now we're on Sister Wives, season 19.
Yeah, episode 5? I don't know.
Something like that. It's Sister Wife.
Sister Wife.
Because there's only one bitch left.
She's the Highlander Robin who she ate all the other wives.
She's the Wifelander, yeah.
She ate them and consumed them, so she's the only one
And
left.
she also ate Cody's kidneys. I watched her do it with her very
That's
square
true.
face.
That's true. That's why her neck's so big.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to go now. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.